In his most recent NotABlog update, author George R.R. Martin finally addressed all the gossip surrounding the release date for his upcoming novel, The Winds of Winter. Over the last 6 weeks, there has been a lot of discussion regarding this release date because many fans believe it will be out by the end of this year. As you all know, A Song of Ice and Fire fans have been waiting for The Winds of Winter for roughly 13 years, and for one reason or another, a lot of fans believe this will be the year we finally get it. Since there is so much debate about this subject right now, author George R.R. Martin ultimately decided he should address this himself. He said, "We will be heading across the Atlantic in a week or so for the longest trip we've taken in a while. Our first stop will be in Belfast, Northern Ireland, where I hope to visit Ashford Meadow so I can catch a little jousting and maybe a puppet show, meet a certain hedge knight and his squire, and the rest of the cast of the Duncan Egg show. And of course, we'll be having a meal or 3 with Ira Parker, Owen Harris, and their team. I'm really looking forward to that." For those of you who don't know, Ira will be one of the writers on the Duncan Egg show. They're most likely having several dinners so they can discuss the first season. He goes on to say, "We have some stops after Belfast, including one in London, where I will be getting together with my British publishers from HarperCollins Voyager." Let me say a few words about that though. Last year, when I mentioned seeing my Voyager editor in London, the internet went nuts, throwing up all sorts of theories about how this meant The Winds of Winter was done, and a big announcement was at hand. Sorry guys, but no. That's not how it works. Most of my communication with my editors and publishers is conducted via emails, phone calls, Zooms, and text messages. In the old days, we had letters written also. There's not a lot of face-to-face, especially when we're talking about how some of us live across an ocean. So whenever I travel, if I have a day or two to catch up with one of my editors or agents, I jump on it. Every time I travel to New York City, I get together with my literary agents and my editors at Bantam, along with old friends, family, and the like. That's what I do everywhere I go. If I fly to Germany for a convention or book fair, I will see my German agents, publishers, and translators. If it's in Italy or Spain or Finland, same thing. If I ever find myself in Brazil or Japan or Egypt, I try and connect with my Brazilian or Japanese or Egyptian publishers. This is just a standard way of doing business, guys. It does not signify that some momentous announcement is at hand. It does not signify anything actually, except the desire to touch base, catch up, renew old contacts, or make some new ones, and enjoy a nice meal. So everyone needs to relax. When The Winds of Winter is finally done, the word will not trickle out. There will be a big announcement. Where and when, I cannot say. He also said the writer's room for House of the Dragon Season 3 is also meeting in London, but I have no plans to attend. Well, there you have it, my friends. Once again, he does not have an official release date for The Winds of Winter. In fact, I still don't think he's anywhere near done. He doesn't seem to know when he will be done writing it. He is right though. He's not going to be subtle about releasing his most highly anticipated novel. A lot of fans thought it would be releasing soon after he shared a mysterious update back in March. On his NotABlog website, he shared a photo that said, "Dreams have only one owner at a time. That's why dreamers are lonely." Now, I'm sure there's many different ways we can decipher what that photo actually means. I want to focus on the other things he shared with this update. If you look above the photo of William Faulkner, you'll see another image of a blue winter rose. You'll know the significance of this if you've read A Song of Ice and Fire. These are the roses Rhaegar gave Lyanna after he won the tourney at Harrenhal.
He rode past his wife, and he lay a crown of winter roses in Lyanna's lap, blue as frost.
Not only that, but Daenerys also sees these roses during her visions at the House of the Undying. Another thing fans noticed was how George titled this update. He wrote Words of Wisdom, but what's interesting about this is the fact that he capitalized the W in the word wisdom. Sometimes when George is referring to The Winds of Winter, he will just write WOW, rather than writing out all the words. Not only is Words of Wisdom capitalized the same way as Winds of Winter, but it also has the same amount of letters in each word. Now, I'm sure this sounds psychotic to a lot of you, but this is what fans hyper-focus on while they're waiting for another update that actually mentions The Winds of Winter by name. I guess that's why he shared this new update yesterday. He wanted to silence everyone who was saying the novel will release later this year. That's not happening. It never was, and it never will. It might be several more years before he's finally done. Another update that sent fans into a frenzy was when a social media account said, a famous author from New Mexico has hired Catering for an upcoming event at his house, likely celebrating the release of his long-awaited novel. They've also heard there will be a dragon-shaped cake served at the event. As you can imagine, Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire fans were very excited, but also doubtful after reading this. What made this interesting is the fact that George R.R. Martin does live in New Mexico, and we're all anxiously awaiting the release of The Winds of Winter. Since he has been writing this novel for over a decade, I can understand why some fans think it will release soon. I mean, it has to eventually, right?
It's been 84 years.
The only issue is this social media account doesn't always have reliable information. They are not a reliable source for A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones news. Even if George R.R. Martin is holding an event at his house, it could be for the release of House of the Dragon's second season or his second volume of Fire and Blood. I don't think he would order a dragon-shaped cake for the release of The Winds of Winter. Then again, his mind does work in mysterious ways. Well, this new update let us know that we really don't have to guess anymore. He reminded us of who we're actually dealing with. Once again, it sounds like he would rather avoid writing. Not only is The Winds of Winter still not here, but he also said he won't be attending the Writers' Room meeting for House of the Dragon Season 3. A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones fans have to be realistic about this.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
We're sadly mistaken if we thought we would be getting it later this year. If it's taken him roughly 13 years to write 3/4 of it, how long do you think it will take for him to write those final chapters? Like he said, he doesn't know where or when he will make his big announcement. I understand that to mean he still has a lot to do before it's done. Now, I hate to be negative about this, I really do, but I don't want to give you false hope. As much as I do get upset about this, I do respect the fact that he hasn't released it early. He knows most of his fans are angry, and he knows he stands to make millions and millions of dollars whenever it's done, but he's still holding off until he feels it's ready. I actually admire that. I'm sure it's not an easy thing to do when the demand is so high. One day, he will officially announce its release date, and when he does, the internet will explode. Make sure you're there whenever he does. Let me know what you think about this update down below. Maybe you see things a little differently. I'd love to hear what you have to say. As always, I want to thank all of you for stopping by and watching another video. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be making a lot of new videos every week. Anyways, have a great day everyone. I will see you again very soon.